Hello, everybody. Welcome back for Host Week. And I am sitting down with Carolyn Orf, Education Manager for KHM Travel Group. Hey, Carolyn, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me.
We're so excited to have you here and learn everything about KHM. So I have lots of questions, always a fun question. And I hear you have a Host Week special, so we'll get to that. So yeah, I'm excited to hear about everything. So let's jump right in. So what's been happening with KHM this past year?
Oh gosh, to say I'm exhausted would be an understatement. We've had so much going on, which is such a blessing, and it has been such a fabulous 2022. We were back in person with all of our in-person events, which was just amazing to have people in the room again. We had Destination Success. We had a couple Boot Camp 1.0 events for our newer agents, and then we had two Boot Camp 2.0 events. We also had amazing FAMs throughout the year that agents were able to participate in. So overall, I mean, I just couldn't be more thrilled with the access to events that agents had. So that was our first thing. The second thing was that we added amazing team members to the KHM employee roster, which was really, really fun. We added in marketing, education, billing, membership, agent support. It really was just a fantastic year as far as adding to our team members. And then finally, something near and dear to my heart, of course, was our learning management system. And we were able to create different destinations for different levels of learning, everything from that brand new agent all the way up to that experienced agent that might just want to learn a little bit more about luxury travel or charging service fees, which I know you guys talk a lot about. So we've been able to really expand that educational opportunity for agents. And it's been such a joy to work on that and a love of labor.
Sounds like a very busy year. I love hearing all of that. I mean, new positions opening up. I love the education. I just think that's so important. And probably my favorite is in-person anything because I love being with people in person. So that's so great to hear.
So much fun and laughter in the room. Like that's what brings me joy. That's what fills up my cup to see people. And the best part, especially as the education manager, is not just the information and knowledge that my team and I can impart, but boy, the things that you learn from every level of agent, even the newer agent, there's a perspective there that sometimes goes unheard. So it's such a pleasure to be in the room and just kind of share all of that.
Yeah, that's so great to hear. Kind of staying on topic, but I'd love to hear what makes KHM unique.
Oh gosh, hands down the people. I could probably tear up talking about the people that not only do I get to work with on a one-on-one basis each week as team members, but the agents that I get to interact with every week. It's totally at the heart of the company. Everything that's done is always thought of people first. How is it going to impact our team? How is it going to impact agents? Is it a good thing for them? Are they going to learn from it, benefit from it? So it's always at the heart. And we run by our core values, and I think a lot of companies have those, but it really, really drives KHM in what they're doing every single day.
That's so great to hear. It actually warmed my heart, and I love to hear your passion about it. So that was wonderful.
It does. After 15 years in the industry, you really come to learn how important those relationships are and that dependency on each other, how important it is. And it's just an incredible place to be.
Yeah, this is actually a great transition to the next question, which is what 3 words would you use to describe your ideal travel advisor?
Oh gosh. I would have to say that someone has to be self-motivated. You have to be willing to put yourself out there and educate yourself, put yourself out there with potential clients, and really work towards getting that client base. You have to be versatile. I'm not going to use the P word, the pivot. That was our word of 2021, I think. And but versatile. You have to be able to roll with the punches and figure things out and be creative and preemptive in your problem solving. And then, gosh, if you're not passionate about travel, this really isn't the industry for you. You have to have a love for that and wanting to help people experience it.
Yeah, no, great words, especially for this industry. So I love to hear that. So it's 2023. Let's hear what KHM has in store for the year.
Oh gosh, more in-person events. starting with our Crystal Conference in February of 2022. It will return after several years on hiatus, but we're so excited to be back. So that's going to be a fantastic conference, an awards ceremony. We've got over 500 people attending that event. So we're very, very excited. Something that has really become very important to my role is our expansion of our diversity, equity, and inclusion committee. And we've got two amazing leaders in that program, and they're so dedicated to making sure that every department understands how that plays a role in their everyday working life. And so there's such a commitment to that. And in education, we are constantly talking about what resources can we provide to advisors to better serve their clients in that area. And so that's been a commitment for 2023 that we're really, really focused on. And then, of course, education. We're just going to keep bringing our A game and engage with agents and have those constant touch points. You know, we're a larger host, and it's really important to make sure that agents still feel connected. And believe me, it can happen with a larger host. You can get that core group of people. You can get that personal connection. And so that's what those touch points along the way are so important. And it's something that we really strive to make happen weekly.
I've done a lot of these interviews. This is our third year, so I've done quite a few of these interviews, and never has anybody talked about diversity and inclusion. So the second you said that, like, I just kind of perked up and I was like, oh, that's so great to hear. So I love hearing that, and that's a focus for the year. So that's wonderful.
Absolutely. Something you might not be aware of is we have a weekly web-based talk show called KHM Today. And we have a team of, we have a production meeting every Tuesday with our team. And every single meeting, it's okay, what do we have that month that's going to be focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion? And we call it our Expanding the Lens segment. And so we've had some really interesting speakers, everyone from, we have an agent who is legally blind, and she talks about her experience with the different websites and how she goes about booking travel. We've had on people from different cruise lines that talk about their accessible programs. It's really, really fascinating. And even conversations about how to talk to your clients. That can be hard. And so our goal is just to keep educating agents on the best ways to go about it. There's no perfect way. We're not going to be perfect at it, but we're just here to provide tools and resources.
Yeah, no, wonderful. So let's talk about the new travel advisor. What would be one tip you would give a new travel advisor?
Definitely partner with a host agency. I think that no matter who you host with, if there's a supportive environment that's going to give you a CRM, education, and just the ability to ask questions and learn from others' experiences, that's going to help you grow your business that much faster. And so I really, really believe in that host agency model. I think it's important no matter the size, but that support network is so huge in this industry, especially now, to have those people to bounce ideas off, to help support you, cover you when you're on vacation. That's really important. So host all the way.
Yeah, no, I mean, we obviously believe the same thing. Here. So here we are for our fun question. Now, I know this is your first year doing an interview with us, but we always like to ask probably the hardest question out of all of them, our fun question. So here we go. If your company was a snack food, what would it be and why?
Snack mix, hands down. My favorite food ever. I'm a big snacks mix, so Chex Mix, Gardettos, whatever. there is a combination of all sorts of personalities in there.
Mm.
And it can be bold and spicy. It can be sweet and sour. It can be salty and sweet. There's so many different combinations, but all of them are delicious. And they just somehow fit perfectly together. So, everyone has a different personality, different level of experience, but somehow it all comes together and works. And so we are definitely snack mix at KHM.
I love that. Great answer. And it's when you were talking, I'm like, I feel like that's a little bit of all my personalities.
Yes,
A little
yes.
sweet, can be sour sometimes.
No matter how you roll it, it works.
Exactly. So you have a host week special, so we'd love to hear about it.
We do. So if you get started with KHM during host week, you are going to receive a special Explorer pack in the mail, which includes materials to kickstart your business, a quick reference magnet, and the coveted KHM t-shirt, which I'm still trying to get my hands on one of these. So know that it is a hot ticket item. So that is what you're going to get. Of course, you're going to get fantastic education, access to in-person events, and all the other things that we've talked about today. So I can't speak highly enough. Please join us at KHM.
I love to hear that. I love a good swag bag. I
yeah.
want a t-shirt.
So do I.
Right? Well, Carolyn, it was so great to have you here. Thank you so much for being here and talking about KHM and everything that's happening. And onward with Host Week, everyone. We will see you shortly.
Absolutely. Bye. Happy 2023. Oh my gosh.
Bye, everyone.